what made headlines in Europe this week. So much happening. So let me dive into the main events that really made up the headline on the other side of the Atlantic. Two main things, and we're going to dive into a lot more, but the main two events were, of course, Donald Trump's visit in the United Kingdom and the Russian jet's intrusion into the Estonian skies. So let's start with the UK. I'm sure you all seen the pictures, the videos of Donald Trump visiting, meeting with King Charles, no longer Prince. I need to change that. He's been king for a while. So with King Charles, and what really made headlines in France, actually, more than the talks, was the way it all happened. So you've seen all the pictures with the beautiful hats, the dresses. Melania had this yellow dress at some point with a belt that actually raised a lot of questions whether it was pink or purple. Yes, but always when you have a head of state visit in the UK, the outfit of the ladies are usually a must-see. But here, what really made the French talk, at least, was the way Trump behaved during the visit, not respecting the protocol because it's the royal family and a very strict protocol. And apparently, he made quite a few remarks, which are to be compliment to Kate, saying how beautiful she was. So the first time was always, welcome as a smile, it's a compliment. But he did it over and over again. He was actually sitting next to her at the head of state dinner. And she was smiling, but not that much anymore after all these compliments. Even so, maybe it was meant more as, she's recovering from cancer. She made it. She's still looking as beautiful as always. It just didn't feel in place, in this very strict ceremonial of the royal family. And he did other things. He messed up in a speech some countries, not sure if it was Uzbekistan or Kazakhstan, somewhere over there, messed up, walking with, I think, King Charles. He walked in front of him instead of next or behind him. It's a lot of protocols. Obviously, Donald Trump doesn't care too much, so he just did as he pleases. But it did make headlines in Europe, at least in France, it did. So that's really the details. The question is what they talked about in a time where there's so much unrest and the situation is pretty dire in the UK. So it's the timing of the visit and the talks. All right, what came out of it, rather than focusing on Melania's yellow dress. We will see here. But what other thing really made headlines is the incursion on the Estonian airspace of 3 Russian jets. So these were Migs 31. So it just made me think, the Top Gun scene initially, first Top Gun with the Migs. Well, that's exactly what happened over there in Estonia. So, and that also follows, if you watched last week's video, we had 17 Russian drones that went into Polish skies. Just a week ago, 17 drones over Poland. Then we had 1 or 2 over Romania, and now the Migs over Estonia. Initially you can say, okay, maybe 1 drone. It's a mistake, Maybe 17 drones is a test, how we're going to react. We send our jets, France and the UK, to defend. That was a European response. But now, the Migs, that's no longer a test. In my opinion, that's a provocation. It's scaling up. And at the same time, they keep fighting in Ukraine, Russia. It's nonstop. So this visit with Donald Trump a while ago, all the good talks, not too sure where that all went here. So the thing as well with Estonia is that this time, it called on NATO, given it was a direct entry into their skies with 3 military jets. They called on NATO Article 4. So I did a bit of research here. What is it? Article 4. So it's calling for immediate talks between NATO allies. So people, different nations discuss and talk. Okay, what do we do? It doesn't mean they're going to take actions. It means they're going to talk about what happened in order to be prepared to respond, but it's not an immediate call for action. And so the North Atlantic Treaty here, the alliance, NATO, it dates back from 1949, so just after World War II, and that Article 4 was only triggered 8 times since 1949. And these 8 times, 3 of them were since the Russia-Ukraine conflict, so very recent. But the one that really is a call for action, immediate action, is not Article 4. I looked it up. It's an Article 5, the one after that calls for military response. And that article was only called once, and that was by the US on 9/11/2001. So we're not there yet, but it's getting closer. Huh? It's getting closer. So, not doing good at all on that side. There's, anyway, not much good again in my little news summary here. If we look at it from the French side, so new prime minister, we had another day of strike in France, so Wednesday. So I saw a lot of pictures and reports, how terrible it was and so on, talking to insiders, people really in the ground in France, and not just my family here. I had different point of views. It was not that bad. All of them told me it was much better controlled than the previous strike 10 days ago. There were no big fires, cars, buses, destruction. And the main reason is that the people organizing the strikes from the unions put some security on the streets. Every time there was a meeting, a big gathering, they included security. So others who want to just go and destroy, they don't care about the strike, could not get in. So it was a bit tighter, more secure, so you didn't have all that mess. You still had people gathering, claiming, yes, we want more money, all the good stuff. It still happened. They didn't go to work, yes, but you didn't have all the mess that you had in the previous one. So a bit better controlled, not as many people on the street apparently. And the government is starting to work on proposals on how to cut spending. So they've got, they haven't said yet what they're gonna do, but they're looking on how to cut some basics, like do you have to have the, I mentioned it as of the video that you had a reimbursement on the social security, healthcare, if you wanted to go to the spa, a balneo by the seashore and so on. So they're gonna cut that, but I mean, that was pretty obvious. They want to cut as well some life advantage for the ministers. So I'm not too sure what you've got behind that. Anyway, it's just some proposals, not even all put together, not voted yet. So we'll see. Still a lot of steps before getting a final proposal and even more to get it approved. So we're not there. But yes, big discussions here. And big discussions as well in France on the recognition of the Palestinian state. So that's been very controversial. Some mayors in the cities want to fly the flag, the Palestinian flag, over their town hall, which was denied. But Macron is set to apparently recognize the Palestinian state at the next UN meeting. So this is moving forward, but very controversial, with the extreme right obviously against it. And it's just creating more social turmoil and discussion and differences in the population. But that's really what made the headline in France, at least. Another thing that made the headline very recently, and that is concerning the US, is immigration. So if you've heard, Trump created this golden, residency card, kind of a green card. You've got $1 million, you want to come and live in the US, you can just pay for it and you get your golden green card. So that has been approved and moved forward. But what Trump just decided right now is not a green card, it's a visa tariff pretty much. He decided to increase the fees to get visa in the technology sector a fee of $100,000. I mean, this is insane. Visa fees, usually, they're not that cheap for the US, but for $1,000, you get your visa, especially if it's company sponsored, it reaches very often the $1,000, but you get the visa. But $100,000 is pretty much saying no more workers in the technology sector coming from India. India is the first country that's bringing all these workers. So I understand the aim here to have less immigrants and more jobs for the locals, for the Americans. But at the end, some companies might just do something way different. Instead of bringing the Indians here to do the job, they might just relocate the jobs to India and pay a lot less with a local Indian doing the job. A lot of companies are relocating these jobs offshore to lower cost countries. So I'm not sure this very steep tariff on some technology visa is gonna work. We'll see. We'll see. I understand the intent, but I'm not sure about the consequence here for US labor. And the last thing, still on the technology side, actually, there was a major cyber attack. Right now, it's still happening yesterday and today in Europe in some major airports. So we're talking Brussels, Berlin, and London. So London Heathrow, as well as some Irish airports. I think you've got Dublin and Cork. So online check-in not working, luggage drop not working, so long delays, line at the airport. But at the end, looking at it, everything is electronics nowadays. You go to the airport, even flying is very much automated. In particular, the Airbus is all electronics, so all the chain is very vulnerable to a cyber attack. And looking at the stats, the trend is high. According to the French aerospace and defense contractor company Thales, the number of cyber attacks has increased by 600% from 2024 to 2025, just in that sector. That's very scary. I do fly. I mean, I take the plane, but yeah, it's just so easy to take control, probably even the plane itself. So, and it's going to be, I mean, it's the same when you look at all the automated cars nowadays. It's automated pilot. Soon it's going to be driving itself fully 100%. It already is with some Tesla, but it can be even more. Yeah, how vulnerable we are in today's world. We want to have robots and AI do everything, but it can turn against us. So it's a scary, it's good and scary at the same time. It's not sure how to take that one. So, but at the present, on the airports in Europe, it was a hard day in certain cities. So just be aware. And that is it for my little tour of the news. As I said, it's just really what made a big headline this week. And it was very much about the state visit in the UK with Trump and the military intrusion of the flights, the Russian Migs into Estonia. Something new every week. It's going a step further with Russia, so let's hope it won't get further, because further than the Mig intrusion is not good. Not good. So let me know what you think. Put in the comments below. If you enjoyed, as always, thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, share with the world. Thank you all for watching.